it's Rob and welcome to Axel's Garage. We got a lot of feedback concerning our reviews on those cheapo GoPro microphones. Now, one was a Chinese knockoff cheapo that we bought on eBay, and I'll put a link to it here. That microphone didn't work too well because of Wi-Fi interference, and there's a tremendous amount of information out there about Wi-Fi interference on GoPro microphones. Then we went ahead and we bought a Daggy, which we believe to be an Australian microphone, and that microphone actually worked pretty good, and I'll put a link to that video here. Okay, now that you've seen those other two videos, I got a lot of feedback, and our Axel's Garage in-house audio guru Shuey sent me a text message or an email saying, hey, the audio on your GoPro actually sounded pretty good and the mic didn't sound as good. And I guess that's my fault, because in our testing and in our videos, what we did was we tested the GoPro naked. And by naked, as you know, we mean out of the case, just sitting on a shelf, and the GoPro has two internal microphones. One mounted on top, one mounted on the side, and those two microphones, when it's out of the case, actually seem to pick up the audio pretty good in the conditions that we're testing, which is in my garage. It's pretty quiet out here, not a lot of noise from the outside. The only noise we have in the garage is a little bit of a hum from the refrigerator unit and a little bit of a hum from one of our heaters, and it's just a squirrel fan blowing some air. And that's the only real other noise, other than my voice, that you get when we're doing these testing. Now, like I said, I'm speaking in my normal speaking voice. I'm about 6 feet away from the camera, and the camera is naked right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a comparison between the naked GoPro, like it is right now, and the GoPro in its GoPro brand, right, genuine GoPro case. That's the waterproof case with the open back to let some sound in. So it's not waterproof, it's the waterproof front, but you change the back and you put that open back on. Some people call it the skeleton back, and that skeleton back is designed to use when you want your camera protected, but you want to let some audio in, and it takes the audio in from the back, and that's where our real comparison should be. It should be that case, 'cause that's the case that it's normally in, because that allows you to mount it. And I have the case right here, and it's got the mounting foot on it, as you can see, but the back of the case is completely open. And we use this case because this case gives us all our mounting options. When the GoPro's naked on the shelf, we'd have to sit it on a shelf, and you really don't have a lot of mounting options or any mounting options at all. So this is where the GoPro audio we really need to compare it to. So right now, just so you can get a baseline, this is the naked GoPro in no case, using its internal microphone. Now we have the GoPro mounted in its factory genuine GoPro case with the open skeleton back, and we're going to do a voice sample here. Again, I'm about 6 feet away from the camera, speaking in my normal speaking voice. Now we have the cheapo Chinese knockoff eBay microphone. I'll put a link to it up here for you. You should be experiencing some Wi-Fi interference in a form of clicking or a helicopter sound. And now we have the Daggy microphone from Amazon, the cheap Australian Daggy microphone from Amazon. And finally, we're going to have the cheap Daggy microphone clipped to my lapel. Alright, so those are the two different mics, plus the internal mics from the GoPro and the internal mics from the GoPro when it's in a case. What I'll do is I'll seam it all together so that you can hear one right after another, and then I'm going to go back and forth between the Daggy and the GoPro in its case, back and forth a few times so that you can get a good grip for what that is. That's the real comparison, is the GoPro in its case with the open back and the Daggy mic, because we determined the Daggy mic to be the best of the cheapo microphones that we reviewed. Test, test, test. GoPro naked in no case. Test, test, test. This is the GoPro in its case housing with the open skeleton back. Test, test, test. Cheapo eBay knockoff microphone. Test, test, test. This is the cheap Australian Daggy microphone. Test, test, test. Cheap Australian Daggy microphone. We hope this video and this comparison really helps you make a better determination of what we were trying to accomplish in our previous videos. Hey, it's Rob from the future. While we were editing the video today, we realized that the Daggy mic was giving us a small bit of Wi-Fi interference. And although the amount of interference wasn't enough to render the video unusable, there was a small amount of interference. So while I was editing, I did a little bit of testing and realized that because I had my cell phone propped up right next to the GoPro, the Wi-Fi interference started to pick up on that daggy mic. And what we determined is that if you take your phone and you move it away from the camera, and you take that daggy mic and instead of mounting it right on the camera, mount it a little bit above or a little bit below, you still get great sound and you don't get the Wi-Fi interference. And that's what you watch me on now. We're on the GoPro, we're on the daggy mic. The daggy mic isn't attached right up to the GoPro, it's next to the GoPro but not right on top of it. And my cell phone is a few feet away as well. And now you're not getting that interference. So we'll continue along with the video. Just wanted to give you a little update that I found while I was editing. Again, we hope you enjoyed this comparison from Axel's Garage. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you like what we're doing here at Axel's Garage, please subscribe. That's it today from Axel's Garage. We'll see you next time.